Oh man, I had way too many. Where am I? What year is it?
It's January 2026.
That means I haven't uploaded in a year. What am I gonna do?
Don't crash out, my child. Here, take this. Lock in.
What it do, dirtbags? I have once again returned. Got just a smidge too Chinese and then stuck in Agartha for a while, but I'm back now. Ready to do something a little different today, a little derogatory and a little redundant. See, today I'm getting into a little bit of environmentalism. I'm gonna be recycling someone else's slop. But before we get into that, I gotta set the stage and use a little bit of recent drama as a solid jumping off point. If you've heard this tale before, hopefully I remember to put a timestamp to where you can skip to. But the drama revolves around turkeytom, one of my biggest inspirations actually. That might not shock you considering the obvious clone nature of what I'm doing here. So on January 14th, several of Tom's ex-girlfriends began posting accusations on kiwi farms. These accusations ranged from him being too rough in the bedroom to him filming without consent and various other things that were basically nonsense. I mean, all of it's truly nonsense, but some of it was like him looking in the mirror mid-coitus and like flexing. And I mean, they literally say he's a Patrick Bateman type gooner. Beyond that, all of their accusations are filled with logical fallacies and the most obviously cherry-picked screenshots I've ever seen. This was a day one nothing burger. And what really confuses me is how many people believed it and just accepted it as total truth. And the one that really dumbfounds me is Nicholas Diorio. Nick put his and Tom's podcast onto hiatus and later went on to say this.
It would be really cool if he could come back and show some receipts.
Political group, but U.S. imperialism, I see.
Why no for podcasting? I'm not doing anything with him unless he explains himself
Extremely manipulative
and has actual shit to show.
This rubs me the wrong way like a sandpaper condom. Seems like an incredibly cowardly and pathetic way to be talking about a friend. But hey, I don't know the guy, I don't know what the relationship's like, it could be any number of things, I don't need to speculate on that. I'm just saying for me in particular, basically any high praise that I would have had for Nicholas Diorio gone, my perception of him ruined. But Reddit smugness aside, this just shows that the whole commentary sphere, not everyone, but a large majority of people for whatever reason believed these accusations. And the appeal for Tom to release some receipts was there. People were begging for it, even though, honestly, I don't really feel that he needed to. Why does a guy have to air out his entire love life purely because women with a story that's so full of holes it looks like Swiss cheese sticking out of a prolapse triplophobic nightmare? Just the most obvious nonsense possible. But Tom did, in fact, come out with the receipts.
Brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But
it's 40 minutes long and very entertaining, definitely worth the watch, but the TLDR is that Tom basically broke up with these women and they were like majorly crashing out. Oh yeah, and they were lying about basically everything. But that's pretty obvious. But the reason I established this baseline understanding of the drama is so that you'll know it is a true nothing burger. That's what we call it in the business. And the thing is, within the videos I've made, I've realized that nothing burgers are kind of my favorite. Especially a highly detailed nothing burger like this, where there's a lot of information that you can sift through and use as a jumping off point for jokes that'll keep people entertained. But the information itself is so meaningless that if you want to spend more time giving your own take, you could just reduce the amount of information you put in the video. Essentially, the details of a nothing burger like this are elastic. You can stretch or compress them almost as much as you want and still end up with a good video. But this is just my sentiment towards nothing burgers. I find that other commentary channels have a different approach. And by different approach, what I mean is they don't care at all about commentary and instead want to maximize slop production. To illustrate my point, I'm going to talk about a channel called Cam Nuggets. Now, I want to be clear that my complaints about this guy apply to a litany of other channels, but in particular, I do especially despise him. He's just a stunning example of everything wrong with commentary now. See, Cam Nuggets has a very particular style when it comes to commentary. If I had to guess, I'd say his biggest inspiration was probably someone like Bo Blacks. Maybe not the best place to get your inspiration, but you know, Bo Blacks used to be tolerable, so I'm sure there's some good qualities there. But what I mean by this is both have an approach of information maximalism, sort of a news-like approach to commentary, which in and of itself isn't necessarily bad, but in the case of Cam Nuggets, it's just terrible execution, some of the worst I've ever seen. To put it bluntly, Cam Nuggets has no charisma whatsoever. His voice has a general lack of flow. He seems very unconfident with every word he says. And his lack of confidence in his speech makes it so that anytime he tries to share a witticism or a joke or an anecdote, it just falls flat. It's never interesting and it's never funny. And there's very little visual appeal. If you were to sit down and just watch one of his videos and do nothing else, it would be such an empty, hollow experience. These videos need Family Guy funny moments and Subway Surfers gameplay to be even slightly palatable. And I've only just realized he has no background music. What kind of alien watches this? But dear viewer, I know you. I know you're questioning two things right now. You're wondering, hey Crucemix, how does this apply to Turkey Tom? And also, why haven't you shown me an example of why this guy sucks so bad? Well, dear viewer, I became aware of Cam Nugget's atrocious content because of his coverage of the Turkey Tom drama. So allow me to show you some clips in this next segment from one of his various videos on Turkey Tom's drama.
He actually joined one of my lives one time and gave me a donation. So like, I looked up to Turkey Tom, right? So covering allegations of like a creator that I enjoy is not fun, but I also have to be fair, right? Whether that's defending him on certain points or calling him out on certain points. That's what I'm going to do, right? I'm just giving a little context to like my parasocial relationship with Tom.
That was just to establish a baseline. This guy is absolutely atrocious though. Let me show you exactly how in detail he is, how really nuanced his videos are.
I don't know, she's attractive. This kind of like style's not really my type, but hey, you know, Tom has a type. She's legal, she's an adult. I can't really be mad at him. From the looks of it, yeah, she just really loves like Hello Kitty and pink and girly little kitty stuff. You know, I'm not really going to dive too deep into what age play is and like the implications of it and whatnot. Obviously, common sense would tell you that it involves playing with age. As a matter of fact, I was kind of like worried to Google this because Google would be like, what's this dude up to, right? Basically, age play is a form of role play in which one or more individuals acts or treats another as if they are a different age. They may describe a variety of role playing that involves a different age. In practice, however, age play usually involves one or more adults acting as young children. Age play generally focuses on the age aspect in its involvement in the roleplay, such as highlighting youthfulness, maturity, or the taboo nature of one's age. So obviously, you know, when we're talking age play, someone's not role-playing as a grandma. Someone's not role-playing as like a 90-year-old hag. It's usually going to be an adult woman who's role-playing as a...
Yeah, that's him going into the definition of age play on Wikipedia, which is... it's just genuinely baffling. It's as if he has not once questioned whether or not someone would actually enjoy watching this slop. I mean, maybe this isn't as funny to everyone else as it is to me, but the absolute uncharismatic lethargy with which he chooses to read something of so little importance is just enthralling. And it's even funnier whenever you realize the only context for this is the fact that, like, Tom was accused of messing around with, like, a Belle Delphine Hello Kitty girl, who is herself accused in these accusations. Oh my god, I hate the word accused. She's been accused in these accusations of being an age play type, which we know Tom would never be into age play.
You guys know who I am. I'm a good guy. Me? Diaper Max? You guys know me. I hate diapers. I'd never wear a diaper. What? Diaper Max? I'm diaper minimizing. I've been on the diaper minimizing movement for years. You guys know me.
But this is what I mean. This information could not be more meaningless. And he somehow manages to pile on information even more impertinent than that. This man has managed to take the elasticity of a nothing burger and stretched it so far that it's breaking. And he's treated this information with the utmost seriousness. He treats it like not only is there credibility to these accusations, but as if it's going to be very impactful on Tom's career. And I think I get why modern commentators treat everything like this. It's definitely multifaceted, but I think part of it is there's a virtue signaling element, and then there's a, oh my god, this is so serious, you have to pay so much attention to this, it's so imperative that you watch every last one of my 8 videos on this. And all of that does the convenient job of hiding a lack of charisma and personality. Cause who needs entertaining content when you have the facts on the biggest scoop? And videos like this only ever seem to feed those who prey upon the downfall of the successful. There are going to be people who hate you for no reason. I mean, I hate virtually everyone I meet for no reason. But some people are not content with that. Some people want to deplatform you and ruin your life. That's how much they hate you. And whenever you create this much slop, you give those people so much fuel. 8 videos, 119 minutes of this. You fuel the fires of an innocent man getting dogpiled, and whenever he comes out with the truth, then you get to make another video on how everything that you just covered was actually wrong. And all of that is perfectly fine. I'm not some kind of moral paragon, I'm not some kind of moral elitist or anything like that, but at least make it entertaining. But no, instead, he'd rather waste his time with a full feature-length film worth of nothing. Genuinely, the only thing that I can imagine would be worse than watching all of his videos on turkeytom is being the guy who made all of those videos. It sounds genuinely miserable to put these together. You open up your OBS and the mega threat on Kiwi Farms, and you just go to town reading the information verbatim with no charisma, and every so often you just stop and be like, well, this is how I feel on this. And you do this every single day. Are you even having fun with this? Is there any joy to be had? No wonder he sounds unconfident. He's been beaten down by the very content he makes. And I think ultimately that's my biggest problem with modern commentary. There's just no love for the game. The mass-produced, eye-catching thumbnail that's the same as every other thumbnail on this platform. The editing that lacks all whimsy, all joy. No jokes, no cutaways, no visual gags, and no aesthetic value or consistency. These channels are so perfectly empty. It's all content bottom feeders and soylent celebrities these days. And I think this video might come across as almost masturbatory, joking, gooning myself right here in front of everyone. But first of all, I'm a narcissistic sociopath, so automatically I think I'm better than everyone. But beyond that, I'm genuinely baffled about what appeal these kinds of videos have, not only to the audience, but to the creator. I guess I work under the assumption that every YouTuber wants to be the greatest YouTuber, the most well-known, the most well-respected, and even if they don't get there, they'll get like modest celebrity status, right? That's the end goal, that's the dream. But I feel like to achieve that dream, you have to have some level of personality and stage presence. You know, something for the fans to latch onto and appreciate. But I can't imagine content like this garners an audience that actually cares about anything. But I think that's where I'm going to end things for today. A little bit of a shorter video and a little bit of a meta video. I've never really talked about YouTube in this way before. Ironically, I feel like I had less jokes than usual. But hopefully you still found it within yourself to enjoy it, and if you did manage to enjoy this video, please go down to the subscribe button and make sweet love with it, and then go down and go to my Twitter if you're really dedicated, if you're a really big Crucifix head. Maybe even turn on notifications for me. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna bog down your inbox or anything. I rarely upload. My name is, has been, and will be Crucifix in the foreseeable future. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.